Who doesn't love a crispy fried chicken? A great fried chicken should have a crunchy exterior with deep, crackly grooves and be super flavorful and juicy. We tested a lot of fried chicken, and we mean a lot. Let's get started and put this poultry in motion. Tasty 101 Fried Chicken. There are lots of versions of fried chicken around the world, but today we're going to be focusing on a good old classic American fried chicken. We're going to dry brine this chicken, so we'll mix together salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and some lemon zest. Dry brine works through osmosis. Essentially, salting the meat ahead of time will draw out moisture from it. The moisture will break down the salt and reabsorb into the protein. This tenderizes and flavors it throughout. Another option is just buttermilk, but we didn't think it was as great as using the dry brine. We also saw lots of recipes marinating the chicken in a mixture of buttermilk and eggs, but we didn't notice a huge difference between this and just marinating it in straight up buttermilk. Dry brine was by far the best option. It's a foolproof way of getting perfectly seasoned, crispy, tender, and juicy chicken. We're gonna start by patting dry the chicken pieces with paper towels, and then we're gonna season them with the salt mixtures to evenly coat each piece. Now we're gonna line a large Tupperware with some paper towels, and we'll add our seasoned chicken to it. We're gonna stick it in the fridge and let it sit uncovered for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. Make sure to remove your chicken from the fridge 30 minutes before frying. Pro tip, you want your chicken to be at room temperature before frying. It's important to keep all meat and poultry chilled before cooking for safety, but it is acceptable to let your chicken sit at room temperature for up to 30 minutes before frying. This step also ensures that your chicken cooks evenly and has a superior texture. You can use cast iron to fry chicken. It retains heat really well and it stays at the temperature you want. But since it's so shallow, it can create burnt spots where the chicken is touching the surface of the pan and oil tends to splatter everywhere, so it can get pretty messy. Stainless steel pots work too, but the heat can fluctuate a little more easily. Our cookware of choice? The Dutch oven. It retains heat well and it's deeper, so the chicken doesn't burn as easily. Let's talk about some oils. Not every type of oil is suitable for frying, and it basically boils down to the smoke point. Frying chicken requires maintaining a fairly high temperature of around 350 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius, and not every type of oil can withstand this heat without scorching, so make sure to check what the smoke point of your oil is. Canola or vegetable is the standard oil to use for deep frying, and it works great. Its high smoke point and low level of saturated fat make it a compelling choice, and because it's neutral in flavor, it won't impart any additional flavors to your food. Other alternatives, such as peanut oil, have a higher saturated fat content, so some say it makes food crispier. But we didn't notice a big difference between this and canola, and the peanut oil is just a little more expensive. The traditional Southern way is to use shortening or lard, but their smoke point is pretty low, so it's not ideal to use just in case you accidentally overheat your oil. For this fry, we're gonna stick with the neutral oil with a high smoke point, so we're going with canola. Let's heat up our canola oil in this large Dutch oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. We tested a variety of combinations for our coating, and here's what we found. You can go old school and just use straight up flour, but it doesn't stay as crispy and the coating pulls away from the meat after it's cooked. The all-purpose flour and rice flour combo didn't stay crispy after sitting out, and the texture and flavor wasn't your traditional Southern fried coating. Flour, baking powder, and buttermilk. This method is great, but can get a little messy and it doesn't always stick to the chicken. Flour and cornstarch is our runner-up. It came out of the oil super crispy, but didn't hold up that great after sitting out. Our winner for this chicken dinner? The wet and dry double dipping method. Flour and baking powder for the dry ingredients, and egg whites, vodka, and buttermilk for the wet ingredients. Let us show you what we mean. First, we're gonna combine our dry ingredients. So we'll whisk together our flour, baking powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. Now, let's combine our wet ingredients. So we'll whisk together our buttermilk, egg whites, and vodka. The egg whites add structure to the coating, making it crispier. It also helps the flour coating stick to the chicken like culinary glue. We tested this with whole eggs, but it made the crust softer because of the yolk's fat content. The alcohol evaporates quickly in the frying oil. This sets the coating and creates flaky layers. You often see this ingredient used in pie crust recipes for the same reason. If you don't want to use vodka, you can totally omit it. Time to double dip. We're going to dip the brine chicken first in our flour mixture, then into the buttermilk mixture, and then back into the flour mixture. Maybe it's more of a triple dip? In any case, we'll shake off any excess flour and we'll repeat with all of our remaining chicken pieces. When coating and breading your chicken, be sure to tap off the excess buttermilk as well as the excess flour. This method creates all those little crackly bits, and using the semi-double dip also means that you'll have a nice layer of crust. Not so thin that you barely know it's there, but also not so thick that you need an excavator to find the chicken inside. These chicks are ready to fry. We're gonna put 2 or 3 pieces into our hot oil and we'll cook them for 7 to 10 minutes, just until the internal temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius. Don't overcrowd your pan. You wanna make sure that the chicken isn't bumping against other pieces of chicken, which can knock off the breading. The baking powder creates these very tiny air bubbles on the surface of the battered chicken when it's placed in the hot oil. The bubbles expand the surface area of the batter, breaking up its thickness, which results in a lighter and crispier fried chicken. Flip your chicken only once while frying. The more you fuss with your chicken, the more likely you are to disturb some of the crunchy coating. Do not move the chicken or start checking for doneness until it's fried for at least 3 minutes. You really want to give that coating a minute to cook. Do not rely solely on visual cues for doneness. Visual cues aren't always the best way to detect when your chicken is done cooking. Thermometers are your friend. It can accurately measure your oil temperature and your chicken's internal temperature, helping you cook to perfection every time. We would recommend a candy or deep fry thermometer to check your oil's temperature. It clips to the pot and monitors the temperature. We'll cook these until they reach the correct temperature and the exterior is golden brown and crispy. To accurately determine the internal temperature, we'll use a meat thermometer that we'll insert into the thickest part of the meat, but we're going to be careful to avoid the bone. If your chicken is getting too dark too quickly, don't worry. You can always finish it in the oven for better results. Just heat your oven to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit, about 190 degrees Celsius, and cook the chicken for 5 to 7 minutes and you should be good to go. Once our chicken's cooked, we're going to remove it from the oil and we'll transfer it to a wire rack. Do not blot the excess oil on paper towels. It's a common mistake. You want to get rid of the excess oil, but if you do it by laying the freshly fried chicken on top of paper towels, this will create steam. The moisture from the steam will soften that crispy crust you just worked so hard to get on your fried chicken. So to keep your crust but banish the excess oil, set your chicken on a wire cooling rack. This way, the excess oil can drip down, but the chicken won't become soggy on a moist, humid surface. Then we'll season it with salt. Keep working around the clock and repeat with the remaining chickens. No pun intended. Sorry, not sorry. Make sure to clean the oil in between batches to prevent the bits left behind from burning and altering the taste of the oil that you're frying in. Just don't wing it. Keep it clean. Oh man, it looks so crispy and it's so flavorful and juicy. Now go ahead and enjoy your beautiful and mouth-watering fried chicken. We hope that this video, or should I say chick flick, has helped you with your fried chicken journey. If there are other types of fried chicken you'd like for us to fry, let us know in the comments below.